Now, NFL. Want to go to the NFL
Okay.
and talk about, yes, indeed, for reality and fantasy, since you host a fantasy football show, but first, a reality. Will the Detroit Lions win a game?
No.
Talk more about that. Have you ever seen anything like this in sports? Like
I'll
something,
tell you what,
an
as far as
organization
the
is
Detroit
hopeless.
Lions go, it's never happened before in my life, and we might be breaking news and making history right now, but when that topic comes up in conversation, something happens to me that's never happened before in my life. I'm speechless.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's really a shame. And Matt Millen, thanks to him. You know, thanks to him.
Next question.
Yeah. But also now, Jeff Fisher. No one talks about 15 years in the league. He's never had the greatest talent.
Mm-hmm.
He led Tennessee to a Super Bowl, and he has a winning record around 56% winning percentage. Is he a Hall of Fame coach?
Yeah, I think he is, because when you look at the way he's won in different styles, and he's had to adjust with different quarterbacks. It started out with Steve McNair, then it transitioned obviously to some different people. He started to play Vince Young, obviously, and got great results, and he adjusted on the fly this year with Kerry Collins. So the ability to adjust and win in different type of circumstances, I think, is the trademark of a great coach. Jeff Fisher fits that bill.
Absolutely. I mean, I really, just love the way, and also too, every player has nothing but great things to say about him.
Sounds
just
like
with the
you
honesty.
about everybody else in this world.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. but also now, speaking of now the awards coming up, MVP of
Right.
course. Now, who's your MVP this year?
Brett Favre.
Talk more, elaborate more.
I think, you have a player right now, and I said this in training camp in August, that if there was one possession that you needed a touchdown of all the quarterbacks in the AFC, you would want the ball in nobody else's hands but number 4. He's transcended this team, he's transcended this conference, and that's why I think when you look top to bottom in the AFC, the last guy people want to see across them if you're on defense is number 4.
And we're going to talk more about the Jets actually a little bit later, definitely. Now, Defensive Player of the Year.
Chris Jenkins.
Okay.
Just a trendsetter on defense. I think when you look at somebody who plays the defensive line, their job in a lot of ways isn't always to make the tackle, but it's to get penetration and set things up for the linebackers. I think he's made their linebackers better. I think Eric Barton's played better. I think David Harris has played better,
Brian
all because
Thomas,
of
too.
the presence of Chris Jenkins. So I think it's a ripple-down effect, and it's a cause and effect type scenario. Jenkins is always at the forefront.
Wow, and even over Albert Hainsworth, because that's my pick so far.
Look, I did a show with Chris Jenkins, so, again, I'm kind of Nabaté's rubbing off on me, so I'm trying to spread some PR his way. You know what I mean?
Exactly, because if you don't, I can see, because that's a big dude, definitely. But a great heart, great
Great
heart,
great guy.
definitely, great guy. And Offensive Player of the Year. I think I know your pick.
That's an interesting question. I'm going to say Offensive Player of the Year, believe it or not. I think it's Kerry Collins. I think when you look when you look at the situation he came into, really being in a situation where he wasn't familiar with being a starter in so many years, and to embrace the challenge and put up big numbers. I think what he did in Jacksonville a couple of weeks ago is monumental. I think you got to spread the wealth and go to Kerry Collins.
Wow, even over Drew Brees, with the fact that Brees can break Marino's yardage record.
Well, I think it's Drew Brees probably from a statistical standpoint, but I'm trying to create compelling television right here. That's why I Kerry Collins.
Okay, very nice. And he has done a good, and MVP. He's definitely an MVP choice for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely for sure. And okay, Coach of the Year.
Jeff Fisher.
Jeff Fisher.
Got to be Jeff Fisher for the reasons we spoke about a minute ago. And I think one of the things that's difficult to do in the pros, because you're dealing with professionals and pro athletes, is be a leader of men consistently. Jeff Fisher's done that for over a decade. He gets people to buy in, and that's what you need in professional sports.
Atlanta Falcons. I mean,
I
the
think a guy
resurrection.
Yeah, I just think Matt Ryan's at the forefront, and I think you need people that are high-character people if you're going to rebuild a franchise. And I think Matt Ryan was a perfect fit for that reason. I think he plays the most important position in football, and I think when you're the quarterback, you have fate in your own hands. And I think Matt Ryan's play at Boston College, where he elevated that program in the latter years he was there, tells you all you need to know about the guy.
That's for sure. He can make every throw. And there be a Subway Super Bowl.
Absolutely. I think when you look at the NFL right now from top to bottom, these two teams are the most impressive. I think the Giants right now really are taking no prisoners. I really think it's going to be difficult, because I think when you look at the situation right now, the only way they can lose is if they beat themselves. As far as the Jets go, it's going to be pivotal to see what they do over the next 5 games, because they need to make sure that they manufacture at least one playoff home game.
Yeah, absolutely, and that will be important. Even if it's a 4 seed, if they're a 4 seed and a wild card, that works. That's what I like about the Jets organization. They do not listen to the general public talking about, oh, draft Matt Leinart, oh, draft Darren McFadden. You know, they draft needs in the trenches. Like, for example, drafting DeBrickus Ferguson instead of Matt Leinart, which was the perfect move, obviously, as we know now.
Right.
And then drafting players like Nick Mangold and David Harris, and Darrell Revis, guys like that. Talk about how the Jets are really able to plug in the right personnel, and of course with free agency this past season as well.
Well, I think they addressed what they wanted to in the offseason, and they wanted to make sure that at the core positions they were solid. But I think the impressive thing about the Jets is they built their offense and manufactured their parts on offense for players that would help Chad Pennington, and they needed to recalibrate that when they got Brett Favre. So their ability to develop their talent around the new quarterback when they got him well in the training camp, I think speaks volumes about their coaching staff.
Absolutely, absolutely.